But you suggest once, we're gonna take it. This is, angry cops talking about the base holding Air Force One getting broken into. Which is already, the title alone is an oh shit kind of moment. So I'm just kind of curious how this is going to actually get worse. Yeah, she was like, I only saw like a headline for it. I never actually opened the story. Well, Hoseki, I think we're going to be finding out. So let's check it out.
You know, they say everything on the internet lasts forever, and boy, that sure is true. Because while I was researching and looking into the upcoming story that I'll be sharing with you, I stumbled upon, well, something that just tickled my fancy. That happened a little while ago, but I had never seen before, and well, why wouldn't I share it with you? It has to do with people breaking onto military posts and the dumb things that they did and that people missed. So why wouldn't I touch on it? Especially if it allows me to pick on the Air Force and security forces, especially. So join me today as I talk to you about a guy that we'll call Jerry, who was able to slip through security at Andrews Air Force Base, drive around for hours, walk onto the flight line, and board an aircraft until security forces got to him. And when asked why, why, Jerry, why would you do it? His response is, well, I was just looking for a ride. To which my response would be, to where, Jerry? Syria? Iraq? Who's breaking into a military post and then jumping on a jet from there to somewhere nice? Well, it is an Air Force post, so you got me there. What kind of free vacation publishers clearinghouse BS did he think he won? I'll tell you.
Am I Jesse? Okay.
After a word from this video sponsor.
Ad
the NFL
time.
season is finally here, and my partner Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more
time.
Join the millions of fans that joined and played on Underdog last year, and with their pick'em game, you could be making money by making.
Yeah, I could see Cryptic doing this.
Time to make your projections turn into cash by picking higher or lower on players' stats, like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and so on.
Oh God, and you saw and like DraftKings shit.
Sports. You can
oh God.
Times of your money. Underdog is available in 30 states, including California, Florida, Texas, and Canada, eh? Here are my picks for NFL Week 1. Josh Allen getting at least 2 passing touchdowns and 1 running touchdown.
I hate this kind of shit. I really do. I don't like these kind of apps.
Underdog also has a Thursday 30 pick for all customers.
Like, because you can it's just another form of betting.
Into an entry of your choosing and get a 30% profit boost. Ooh.
Yes.
So sign up and deposit now and use the code AngryCops to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. And take a Travis Kelce free pick. Use the code links below. All right, bring it in. I've got a timeline. That's right. If you check down in the description, I've actually got military documents stating the exact minutes that they knew what he was doing and in order.
Oh boy.
Chronologically.
Uh-oh.
I'm down here. Oh, yeah, still got it.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Well, it's 07:16 in the morning at Andrews Air Force Base on a chilly February morning, I might add. A young security forces person was manning the gate. You know, I hear Air Force security forces are the real SF. Allowing the daily commuters on and off post, military personnel, government contractors, government officials, etc. And it's here where this entire story begins. And remember, we're gonna call this handsome stranger Jerry. Well, Jerry pulls up to the gate in his vehicle, winking at the young airman, and the young airman waves him on post without checking his ID or credentials.
I was going to say, pretty sure Andrews Air Force Base would require ID to get on it. I feel fairly confident in saying that, so already we are having an oh shit moment right now. Where the gate security just waves him on through without even checking. Someone's getting fired. Yeah, I mean, realistically, Leo, yeah, you're right, because this could be construed as dereliction of duty. Absolutely, this could be construed as that. If you are on post at the gate and you don't check ID and you just wave them on through, that is a crime. In the military, you're going, you know, You're going up in front of the tribunal on that one.
And let me say, you have one job, security forces. One job.
Yeah, Jag is gonna tear him apart for it.
The forces. How are you gonna do it if you don't even scan his flippin' ID? Just don't even. Hey, how you doing? I'm with Army. I'm with the military. That checks out, sir. Absolutely. Where's my private potato gear? Because that's the only person that would let this idiot through without checking his ID. Even Potato would check an ID. Jerry's got no creds, man. Why didn't you check his creds? Well, at 8:15, that 1 hour later, he's seen driving on up and parking at the post exchange and getting out and walking through the exchange, hanging out in the food court.
Oh, boy.
Which I find just creepy. He doesn't buy anything, okay? He's just walking around, staring at people eating the food court. Breathing. It sounds like some sort of weird 90s abduction movie where the killer targets and stalks his prey and victims in the food court and mall, just breathing heavily behind bushes, staring at children as they consume their Panda Express. Doesn't buy anything, just stares and leaves after an hour. And then, after that, of course, nobody knows where he goes for 2 hours. Boop, disappeared. Driving all over post, but no video camera can pick him up.
Fuck. They lost him for 2 fucking hours. The amount of shit that he could get into on a military base in 2 hours is staggering. This is getting worse by the minute. We have big failure number 1 here. This one is just creepy. My guess is he probably just went into the PX and just stared at people because he's never been in one before and just wanted to see what it looked like. That's my guess. The thing with the PX is he probably has never been in one and just wanted to see what went on there. And that's it.
Probably taking a shit or sabotaging military aircraft. One of the two.
Or military vehicles, because depending on the time, this is at 09:15 hours through 11:15 hours. So, they're working on their vehicles at the time. The gates are probably open. He could have just wandered onto into any section of vehicles and just snagged a vehicle if he wanted it. Because a lot of military vehicles, they don't use keys, last I heard. Well, the M4s, those are in the armory. Those you're not going to be getting your hands on. It's not like they're carrying those around willy-nilly on an Air Force base in the United States. Those actually get locked into the armory until you actually sign them out for a mission of some sort. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The last I checked, military vehicles aren't using keys.
He's like the Invisible Man, and I don't know what kind of car he's in, but it seems like he stole Wonder Woman's invisible jet. Not one camera got this. With the same guy working security there on post is the same guy that was watching Jeffrey Epstein's cell. So our timeline is currently this: 7:16, gate fail by the security forces. Jerry gets in. 7:16 to 8:10.
Oh yeah. We forgot about this hour that is also unaccounted for at the very beginning. So for an hour, who knows where the fuck he went? The first hour, and then so 3 hours total is unaccounted for where the fuck he is.
Oh, just floating around post. 8:10 to 9:30.
Now so Kanito, I will say, as far as the Humvees go, the last I'd heard when it comes to Humvees, they do have like a steel cable that is anchored underneath the dash, I believe, of the Humvee. That when the Humvee is not used, like when it's stored in a in the motor pool, this cable is extracted out from underneath the dash, wrapped through the steering wheel and padlocked. So the Humvees, you wouldn't necessarily be able to steal, because you wouldn't be able to turn the steering wheel unless you had a pair of bolt guns with him. Which, he's been missing for 3 hours here. Maybe he did have a pair of bolt cutters.
30. in the post-exchange,
Recently, I think,
heavy
Xanax.
breathing, staring at people
I think this is
as
recent.
they eat in the food court. And then 9:30 to 11:45, again, just
PFC Ember. I need you to find a left-handed monkey wrench, an ID 10T form, and keys for a Humvee.
Spa. Where the fuck you getting off classifying me as PFC? At the very least, I should be a specialist. At the very least. And by the way, at my last job, I used the ID10T error frequently with colleagues whenever the customer was standing there, and I knew it was that. I would look at my colleague and go, "Huh, looks like an ID10T error."
this is Andrews Air Force Base, and for 3 hours out of this time period, this guy's just don't know where this guy is for 3 hours, but he. How does a guy who stands there heavy breathing, stalking folks at the food court not stand out for an entire 3 hours during this time period? Well, now it's 11:45 and Jerry wants to be seen again. And so
Slight line, oh boy.
Jerry and his car teleport to the 89th Air Wing passenger terminal. And Jerry, being Jerry, just stands there looking out windows, remaining motionless, staring at the planes on the tarmac and the flight line with soulless dead eyes.
Black eyes like a doll's eye.
Like Jason Voorhees just slowly walking to where he wants to go
Yeah.
and standing there.
Yeah, all we need is a visual of him standing there, and then the anime. I think that's the Japanese where it's translated to stare.
And nobody notices him until he tries to go into
You
a
don't need bolt cutters to get past the lock on those Humvees. It's easier than finding the PRCE7 at Como.
Well, Bobcat, then how would you get past the lock? It's like it's a thick cable that's secured by a padlock. What else would you use? The bolt cutters is the easiest thing, and yes, I'm sure the lockpicking lawyer has a number of means to get past it, but most people are not the lockpicking lawyer. Yeah, but cryptic, you would not be able to steer. That's the point. This cable is wrapped through the steering wheel and then padlocked, so you would not be able to steer it. And a sawzall may or may not make it through a lock or the cable. The thickness of these cables is substantial.
VIP lounge at this 89th Air Wing passenger terminal.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
Where someone finally decides to confront Jerry and just ask him, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And Jerry's response is, "I'm just looking for a ride." That is some serial killer hitchhiker shit right there. Looking for a ride? Where we going, Jerry? Candy Mountain?
It'll be an adventure.
But anywho, the guy who drove there needs a ride. Okay.
His unaccountable time he is smoking crystal somewhere that explains the staring at people cheer 100.
I mean, we know nothing about Jerry, so possible.
Listen up, Airman. If someone is walking around your terminal looking for a ride, a red flag should probably pop up. 'Cause that most likely means a number of things. Like, one, he doesn't have a ticket to go anywhere. He's just looking for a ride. That means he doesn't have a ride. What's he doing in your terminal? Not in uniform, just a civvies. Red flag number two, how then did he get there on a military post without a ride? How did he get to the place where he is if he didn't already drive? You're not just walking on post. Anyway, important note, whatever. Here's
And by the way, this is failure number 2 for the personnel on base. Because that airman that talked to Jerry, and Jerry's just going, "Oh, I just need a ride." why was this airman's first response not to say, MPs? A word, please? I don't know if it'd be I don't know if this one would be another ticket to Leavenworth, because this is not, this airman that approached him may or may not have been, security on the flight line. If it was just an airman, just a random airman, he'd get a dressing down and something would probably be put in his file. But I don't think this would be a Leavenworth-worthy thing like the front guard.
There's the timeline, right? Boop, there's the timeline. It's back. Yay! This moment where he's at the terminal and somebody goes, "What are you doing here, guy?" This is the only time somebody talks to the Jason Voorhees food court staring, "I need a ride even though I got here some magical way," guy named Jerry. No one talks to him until he's arrested. And we have a lot more to go. Timeline update.
God.
1208. Jerry decides to walk up to an entry control point to the flight line. That's the tarmac, where planes go. Some people might say a little bit of a security issue, especially since we've already got the moon-faced kid driving through the gate, disappearing all over the place already. But hey, this is Andrews Air Force Base, so obviously that gate is secure to the entry control.
Shadow Sparta, I'm pretty sure this happened within the last couple months.
That point isn't very good at controlling entry.
Well, we still have yet to hear about it, Jesse Christopher. We're about to hear how bad it is. But yeah, I want to say, this happened within the last, 2 or 3 months. This incident.
Point? Right? No, it's been malfunctioning. And for 5 or 6 times, if I'm not mistaken.
What?
Security forces have said, "Hey, here's
February.
To get this."
Yeah, February. So actually, let me see. I'm thinking in February this year, because he just said before going inside to see aircraft in February. So February 20. So that happened this year.
This thing fixed. And, well, guess what? Security forces have said, "Hey, here's a complaint. We need to get this thing fixed." And, well, guess what? Government work, huh? Ain't fixed. It's about 1.5 feet open, and Jerry just goes, and he's in.
Oh, God.
Control in the entry control point. Now it's just an entry point. Just enter. Jerry's here.
And here? Now it's the fingers pointing squarely at the Air Force. For not, security is supposed to be paramount on a base. Any military installation, security is supposed to be paramount. That's supposed to be the #1 thought in your head for anything regarding military installations features. The fact that this has been pointed out 4 or 5 times, and it still hasn't been fixed, that's a failure of the Air Force. That is.
The guy need a plane to get to the spaceport to fly to Hutton to get his free Anaconda.
Hello. There we go. I don't know why that wasn't working. Oh, sadistic? Absolutely it has. Security, military security military security and discipline is on a huge downward spiral right now.
Everybody come on to the tarmac, to the flight line. Go touch a plane, suck on some gas fumes. It's Andrews Air Force Base after all, it's a free-for-all. So Jerry's now just walking on active airways, looking around at all the planes, when all of a sudden, an Air Force C-40 catches his eye. Ooh. And don't you know, it's got its main door open. And a staircase leading right up to it.
God.
Just calling his name. Come on board, Jerry. All the doors are open for you here, bud.
We're going on an adventure.
So Jerry has already gone on post, disappeared, stared at people eating for an hour in the freaking food court. Disappears
He's really
again,
arping on this
goes
part.
to a terminal, says, I need to find a ride. Not a red flag at
Okay.
all. Leaves, and then just starts walking on the tarmac, touching planes and going in one. Oh my God. My word, security forces. I can just imagine this guy walking up the stairs to the plane and just going,
Holy.
you know, giving the presidential wave, saluting people that aren't even there. Kind of like a Kamala Harris campaign stop. Oh, low blow. I know. AI.
Oh.
I don't know. It's just, I thought I'd say it.
Zoom in on the mirror. You can see a reflection.
But what is a C-40 aircraft?
Wait. Huh. Interesting. Are you seeing what I'm seeing there, chat? Were you seeing what I was seeing there? Yeah. Interesting. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, then? The one time that using a reflection in forensic analysis actually would work.
See a reflection.
But what is a C-40 aircraft in the Air Force? Well, why don't I just read it off of the Air Force's official website? The C-40
Okay.
provides safe, comfortable, and reliable transportation for U.S. leaders to locations around the world. The C-40 Bravo's primary customers are the combatant commanders, and the C-40 Charlie customers include members of the cabinet and Congress. The aircraft also performs other operational support missions. The C-40
Oh, boy.
Bravo is designed to be an office in the sky for senior military and government leaders. Communications are paramount aboard the C-40 Bravo, which provides broadband data
what?
and video transmit and receive capability, as well as clear and secure voice and data communication. It gives combatant commanders the ability to conduct business and
So, okay, so the title here is slightly disingenuous. Slightly. It's saying that the beast where Air Force One is secured. I think it's saying that. This gave the impression that that this guy actually got on Air Force One, which he obviously did not. It's a little, it's kind of it's a little disingenuous. It was a little bit clickbait. Little bit clickbait.
anywhere around the world using onboard internet and local area network connections, improved telephones, satellites, television monitors, and facsimile and copy machines. Who says facsimile anymore? It's just fax. Fax machines. Weird.
Air
have
Force
these-
One is a call sign. Any airplane
I know.
carrying the president can be called Air Force One.
Yes, cryptic, I know. I am aware.
Oh, you know what else seems important? The VIP lounge that Jerry was trying to get into on the Air Force Base in the Air Force Terminal. VIP lounge? Why would there be a VIP lounge there? Well, that might be because Andrews Air Force Base is located in Washington, D.C., and it's used to transport or bring in foreign dignitaries like presidents, kings, prime ministers, high-ranking military officers that lead commands, including our own Department of State officials. Oh,
Robo Spartan, I'm doing good. I'm doing better than I was yesterday. So I am feeling better. And, you're getting to hear about some guy that just decided to go onto Andrews Air Force Base and just board a C-40, which is used for government officials, dignitaries, and military leaders.
well, that might be because Andrews Air Force Base is located in Washington, D.C., and it's used to transport or bring in foreign dignitaries like presidents, kings, prime ministers, high-ranking military officers that lead commands, including our own Department of State officials. Oh, and I almost forgot, it's also the home of Air Force One. Air Force One.
Air Force
So the post that houses the presidential Pip My Ride of aircraft has allowed some dude who doesn't even have an ID to get on post and just start walking around the flight line and get into one of these planes. Oh, but what did he do when he was in there? How do I know what he did when he was in there? Because people were in there watching him.
What?
Let's read on. You see, when Jerry got on the aircraft, there was not one, but two airmen on there testing the communication system operations, which seems like a big deal. And while they're doing that, Jerry just walks on. They look at each other. Jerry walks to the back of the plane. The airmen look at each other. Jerry fiddles around back there for a couple minutes. The airmen are like, who is that guy? I don't know. And then Jerry walks back up to the front of the plane, looks at the airmen. They look at him, and Jerry just walks off the plane. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, he took the words right out of my mouth. Are you fucking kidding me? This is a failure on a galactic scale right now. The two airmen working on the fucking plane see nobody in civilians. He obviously was not in uniform. He obviously wasn't wearing a military uniform. In civilian clothing, walk up onto the plane. They don't know who he is. And just fucking around on the plane. And they do nothing? Yeah. Leo, I'm in agreement. Now we are once again back to dereliction of duty. Absolutely. Because even though they were not security, if they're working on something like that, I'm pretty sure they're trained that they are not to allow any unauthorized personnel onto that fucking plane. So, holy fucking shit. Jerry could have done God knows what while he was in the back of the plane where they couldn't see. And they did nothing, they alerted nobody. Well, it's their job is what they were doing is they were testing the communications equipment on the plane.
This just screams complacency on procedure and the stupidity of modern personnel.
I'll agree with complacency on procedure. I'm not necessarily going to say stupidity of modern personnel because we don't know the age of these airmen. Complacency? Absolutely. Absolutely, this is 100% complacency. This is what happens on military bases when they're not engaged in an active war. They get complacent, and they just think, oh, it's no big deal, we're not at war. And that's a failure. It's 100% a failure.
Are you getting goosebumps? I know I did. I've seen way too many action movies to know what a strange dude's doing on the back of a government plane where nobody can see him and he's not supposed to be on there and he sneaks on post. It starts with a B and ends with
Oh, for God's sake.
And even if it's not one of those, any sort of weird data, virus, or listening system could have been downloaded on anything. And who's to know? How do we know? We don't know. Why? Because nobody stopped him. How is there not one person in the Air Force, especially the two on the freaking plane, to look at that guy and say,
Get off my plane.
Now, common sense eventually struck the smartest branch in the United States military. A badge I think now can be safely handed over to the Space Force. And after Jerry got off the plane and started walking around the frickin' flight deck and taking photos of the planes, a couple people decided to call security forces and say, hey, there's a guy that I can only describe as a future serial killer walking around the flight line, just doing whatever he wants. Somebody might want to look at that. And within only a couple minutes, now they're working fast, security forces was on Jerry, brought him into their car, said, holy this is a big deal.
I'm fired, aren't I?
Oh, yes.
And then
Yep.
the investigation started. Oh yeah, you bet your ass it started. All
Uh-huh.
over Andrews Air Force Base. Unaccounted for large chunks of time. What is this, a Kennedy experiment? Who was on post that day? Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? Just looking to get another one of those Kennedys out of here? This has CIA written all over it. But after a long search and multiple dogs going through the planes and checking where he went, they didn't smell nothing. Everything was okay. I hope that there wasn't any sort of malware dumped on the plane that will cause it.
Well, if I were to guess after that happened, my guess is in addition to the explosive ordnance puppies doing their thing, there probably was a standing order to basically, from a technological standpoint, nuke every system on that plane. I can bet that once the plane was cleared, they wiped every single computer on that plane completely, and they had to set them all back up again. Which, given the level of security that those things have to have involved, that probably took a long fucking time. So, literally, 4 Air Force individuals royally fucking up caused probably multiple days of cleanup. Multiple days. Yeah, with Pactra, given that he was unaccounted for, this is the military, I could see them going the quote-unquote nuclear route and just wiping everything and setting everything back up again fresh. I could see them doing that instead of checking was anything accessed. They might have checked that to see if they're excuse me. They might have checked to see if anything got accessed so they could present it as evidence, but I could absolutely see them immediately going to, okay, nuke all the systems. This is the military. I absolutely could see them doing that.
To crash, but it was a while ago, so hopefully we're
that's what I said. They would check it, and if there they would check it, and if there was any unauthorized access, they would secure that evidence, and then afterwards nuke everything. So they probably checked it for that evidence, and even though there was no evidence of unauthorized access, they'd probably still nuked it regardless.
Except for that airman at the front gate who really messed up. But before I get into that, airman, I will say it is a little bit of a red flag that when they got Jerry, originally, when they put him into custody and said, "What are you doing here?" he was like, "Listen, I'm not under the influence of any drugs. I just came on post. I'm not going to tell you how. By the way, I'm not going to say anything anymore. Shut up. Get out of here. I'm not telling you nothing." Oh, that took a turn. Oh, that took a turn. And then multiple days,
I need to hear that again.
Originally, airman, I will say it is a little bit of a red flag that when they got Jerry, originally, when they put him into custody and...
Go for it, Pactra.
Would have saved a snapshot of the systems for forensics and then rolled the systems back to before the compromise. However, those computers most likely take a PKA or some other physical access item to log into.
Cryptic, very possible. But again, I'm looking at it like there's been a security breach. There's been a significant security breach, and yes, all those control measures are put into place. But I'm thinking that they would probably go to, given the nature of the aircraft that this was on, that they would go with the extreme and go with a full wipe because there was unauthorized access to the plane. Even if they found that Jerry had not been able to access anything, regardless of the physical control measures in place, I was figuring they would go to the extreme for that because it is the military. True story, AF1 got computers upgraded, new phone lines. My house got a call from current President Clinton asking to talk to my dad as he had a technical question. Petra, that's fucking cool! That is really fucking cool! You've got such a wild family history, I must say.
Said, what are you doing here? He was like, listen, I'm not under the influence of any drugs. I just came on post. I'm not going to tell you how. By the way, I'm not going to say anything anymore. Shut up. Get out of here. I'm not telling you nothing. Oh, that took a turn. Oh, that took a turn.
Okay,
and then multiple days later, Jerry was like, no, I was high as a kite. I was under all the influences of all the things. And I'm still not going to tell you nothing of why I was there and how I got on and what the interaction was between me and that airman at the front gate. Oh, that's not good. None of this is good.
Yeah, that's not suspicious at all. Someone get Gitmo ready. I think someone's going to Gitmo. The entire airport. Yeah. Yeah, because, again, we're not only talking about the plane here. The plane is the biggie because of the nature of the plane itself. It's the entire post he had unlimited access to for hours. And no one knows where the fuck he went. So now there's probably going to be a base-wide, okay, everybody check your shit extensively because we don't know where the fuck this guy has been. We don't, like, I'm sure the security details were out in force with their explosive puppers, checking the entire fucking base. Okay, largely unrestricted, Cryptic. I'll rephrase it. Largely unrestricted, and given, the amount of anti-American attacks we've seen in the last several years, I'm surprised I haven't heard him talking about the entire base getting locked down already. Now that may be coming, but I am a little surprised the entire base has not gone onto lockdown already because of this. Because that's what I would fully expect. I would fully expect that once they found Jerry and that he had very unrestricted access around the entire base, that they wouldn't just lock everything down and do a full check of the entire base. Exactly, Cryptic. That's what. Maybe he just hasn't said it, and for whatever reason, but that's absolutely something I would expect.
This is a red flag emporium. All this place sells is red flags. Now, during the
Cheer 100. I just found a story. This happened February 4th, 2021.
Really? That far back? 2021? No shit! Okay. It's only like 3.5 years ago. But, okay.
course of the post-investigation of this entire shenanigan, well, of course, there's video at the front gate. And what did the airman do? Well, he didn't even scan the dude's ID. And I don't even think he looked at the guy's ID because all of the IDs that this dude had, Jerry, none of them were a military ID or any other valid credential to get him on any military post. What did Jerry do? Hold up a Blockbuster card and just go, this is how old I am. I've been in for a while, son. And he goes, oh, roger that. You must be a general. Carry on, Special Forces guy. We're not even scanning IDs anymore. Brother, listen, we all make mistakes. That's going to cost you some rank, all right? It's going to cost you a little bit of rank. Well, that's all I've got for today.
Oh, I'd say it's going to cost more than rank.
Get yourself a shirt. E4 Mafia. It's one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. Get it on a mug. Get it in a sticker. Whatever you like. We've got Whoopee hoodies coming soon. They're not here yet. But maybe by mid to late September they'll be available. They sell out fast, so just keep an eye out for them. Cheapest way to support the channel is leave a comment. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me about all the weird things that you saw on your post that happened when the gate guards, the security forces, or the MPs didn't do their job. I would love to read some of your stories. Okay. See you next time, weirdos.
Hey! I'm not a weirdo.
God, I pity the idiot that breaks into my house. If not for the German Shepherd absolutely tearing you the fuck apart, I'll be at a high level of agitation, and then I'm coming at you. And there's already a German Shepherd chewing you up. Annoying dog. Thank you, German Shepherd. Are they in the house? You know, having PTSD and a German Shepherd that is really anal about people walking on the yard is just not a good thing to have. Where was I? Shut up, Jax! Well, now I gotta look. Now my PTSD is killing me.